Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be starting my eggplant and some of my peppers. I'm in my grow room, as you can see. That's where probably the next few videos, or I should say the next probably 2 months worth of videos are going to come from. So I hinted on the other day about peppers. I don't mean to be kicking the table, it's going to shake the camera. Anyway, and I said I use methods about, like, you know, making notes and doing different things, popsicle sticks and what have you. So basically, just to kind of go over that, is this is what I have. You probably can't read that, probably not clear enough. But this is my list. I have my peppers up here, I have my eggplant down at the bottom. The only reason I'm doing eggplant is because I'm still hopeful that I'll produce an eggplant growing in the greenhouse this year. If I don't, then I'm pretty much going to be done trying to grow eggplant for good. If I can't grow them this year in the greenhouse, then I'm never going to be able to grow them, so I'll be done with it. But anyway, I have 2 different varieties down here. I mentioned them in my video, I believe, the other day. And then here I have my list of my peppers. I think I have, see, it's numbered here so I know how many I have. I have 11 different varieties. Some of them are multiples, like 2 different types of jalapeno peppers, 2 different types of bell peppers, etc. But there's 11 types, we'll call it, that I'll be seeding. I'll be showing you how I do that in a minute. I'm not going to go through, I have a cell tray here of 72 cells. I'm not going to go through every single cell and plant them for you guys, because it gets repetitive. Basically, I'll show you how to do the first couple and how I label them, and then I'll bring it back to show you the finished product. So it's a good rule of thumb to plant at least twice the amount of seed that you plan on having as far as plants go. So instead of me planting, you know, I want to grow 2 cells of ghost pepper. So instead of planting 6 cells and getting rid of 4, I plant 2 of them, but in each cell I'm going to put at least probably 2 to 3 seeds. So I'm almost guaranteed to have 1 come up. I would say within 3 to 5 days, some will start coming up, and by next week, a week from now, more than likely they'll all be up. And you know, if they're not up in say 10 to 14 days, peppers sometimes take longer. If they're not up in 2 weeks, then I will replant. I'll dig out the soil, put new soil in it, and replant. Alrighty, hopefully you guys can see this okay. The first on my list is the ghost pepper. I do things in order by how I have them written down. Maybe you can see this a little bit better now. Not so much as they're not written down in any type of order. This is just how they came out of my little container where I have the seed packet stored. But the first one on the list is ghost pepper, and I'm doing 2 cells. So I'll start up in the top corner. I think you guys can see that. And the ghost peppers were sent to me from a friend in California. And as you see, there's only 6 seeds. So what I'm going to do to try to guarantee one going to come up, I'm going to plant 3 seeds in 1 hole. And the way you see my tray is set up, this is just Pro Mix BX, I think, is the variety of the brand. Regular Pro Mix is fine. If you use Miracle Grow, Peat Moss, you know, whatever, that's your preference. This is what I use, what I've been using for 2 years, and what I've used 12 years ago in nursery production, and I had great success with it. But anyway, basically I put it in dry, I spread a light mist of water on it, and then I took my Sharpie marker here and just poked holes. There, I don't know, I guess the rule of thumb is you want to plant 2 to 3 times the depth of the size of the seed. I don't necessarily follow that directly. I kind of just poke a hole maybe 1/8 of an inch or so deep, and you put it in. As long as they're covered with a decent amount of soil, the depth isn't critical from my experience. So anyway, I'm going to start with the top cell here. I got 3 seeds. I'm going to put them right in. I got 3 more seeds. Put them right in this cell. And then you may say that's a lot, but as I said before, saved seeds are always iffy whether you're going to get good germination or not. So it's better to overplant. So then all I do is I just cover it up like that, lightly push it down, cover it up just like that. And then since the ghost peppers are red, I use my red sticks, and I'll just stick it in the side. And then you make sure it's firm. You want to make sure the soil is firm down. Some people say, no, you don't firm it down, you leave it this, or you put some over the top. Again, there's 100 ways to plant seeds. This is just my way. Again, it's not the right way, it's not the wrong way, it's just, I should say, it's my way. And I've had success doing it that way, so I'm not going to change it now. So anyway, those are 2 cells. The next on the list is my serrano peppers. This is also from my friend from California, the same woman that sent me the ghost peppers. And now you see here, there's tons of seed, which is why my serranos, I'm planting 6. So if I can get this open here. And the reason why I chose 6 is also, like, ghost peppers from, I believe what they are, they're a very hot pepper, almost like my Caribbean Reds. So I don't want to be planting a lot because I can't eat, and I won't be eating the hot stuff, but if they can produce a lot of small peppers, I can still sell them, or at least I have a good chance to save my seed for next year and grow a lot more if there's interest. So anyway, the Serrano chilies, the seeds are a lot smaller if you notice them, but I'm still basically going to take 3 seeds and just drop them right in the hole. 1, 2, 3. Take 3 more seeds, and you know, when you're saving seeds is a great thing, but sometimes, you know, the seeds aren't necessarily good that you saved. Saving seed is quite tricky for certain things like pumpkins where the seeds are huge. It's fairly easy when it comes to saving seed, because you basically scoop out the seeds and there you go. Peppers and things that have smaller immature seeds, sometimes they're tough, which is, again, oh, I planted 6, so I'm not going to plant anymore. So I was getting carried away talking to you guys, and I know, you know, I should have just planted 6 here so it'd be even and all that, but I again, using my kind of stick method that I do here, I'll also see there, using my stick method, it doesn't really matter if things are a little, you know, not even and they're not exactly lined up. And then again, you just cover them up. I know it's kind of repetitive, you know, and you just lightly push them down, just like that, as long as they're covered quite well. And then again, you take your sticks, just as simple as can be, really, and you just stick them all the way down. Having the sticks done this way don't interfere with the root system at all, because they're along the side. Even if you put these kind of more towards the middle of the sticks, the root systems will still grow just fine, and they'll just kind of grow around it. So anyway, that's the first 8 cells done. I have 64 more cells to go because it's a 72 cell flat. So once I'm all finished, I'll bring it back, show you what it looks like, and then show you how I go about watering it and getting it set up for the first night, which is a critical night, in my opinion, to get successful germination. Stay tuned. Alrighty, so everything is seeded, labeled, ready to go. This whole process probably took about 30 minutes. I did have to take quite a few breaks as I go check the horses and what have you. But yeah, that's basically it. There's 72 cells. I didn't have quite enough colors, so towards the end I started doubling up colors. But basically, as long as that matches this, there you go. You can see my sloppy handwriting. As long as that matches that and the order kind of stays the same, we'll be good to go. And that also pertains when it comes to order. When I transplant these into I think they're 3 or 3.5 inch square cups. I've used them last year, I think even the year before, definitely last year though, so you could check my videos if you're unsure as far as what they look like as far as the size. But anyway, these will sit in there in this tray for, I'd say, at least 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, probably at least 2 weeks after germination. I want to get a nice second set of leaves on them, first true leaves, second set of true leaves, nice green color. I'll probably hit them with a little bit of fertilizer. And anyway, so they're all labeled, and when I transplant these, what I said before is I'll take the stick out and put that right into the 3-inch cup that I have, and then when I put them in my trays, you know, this is a 72 cell flat. Flats, your regular flat down here holds, open flat holds 18 pots. So if you do the math, 18 times 4 gives you 72. So I'll have 4 trays of peppers and a few eggplant. That's kind of the way I do my seeding. I don't say, oh, I want to do 10 of this, 10 of this, 10 of this. I do things by 72. Maybe I'm just I like my things, you know, kind of be in order, you know, as far as 72 this, 72 that. But in any case, that's what I have. So the next step would be to take this and stick it in this water solution. And all this is just regular tap water here from our well. There's no chlorine or anything like it. This comes straight from the earth, you know, 100 foot below me here. It is quite hard and irony, but I haven't found any issues with growing plants in it. I do have a little bit of starter fertilizer in it right now. It's more of a phosphorus blend. It's a real weak blend, mainly to get the roots going. So the next step would be to take this, set it in this until the moisture has wicked all the way up to the top, and I'll bring it back and I'll show you what that looks like. Alrighty, so here we are. This is actually the next morning. I had to let these soak overnight because the pro mix that I use, again, it's from last year. It's been sitting in here all winter and basically all summer last year, so it was very dry, almost like a dry peat moss, which is what a lot of this actually is made of. It takes a while to soak up, but as you see, everything is real nice and damp. It's not sopping wet. I mean, you get a little bit sticking to your fingers, but it's just where I want it to be. So I actually had it sitting in my water solution here overnight, which took about it's been about 12 hours, and the water's wicked all the way to the top. So I transferred the cell tray from that into, actually, whenever I use my regular flats, I always double them up. Even though there's a plastic on top of this, I probably wouldn't need to double it up, but I do it anyway, just for strength. And as you'll see later on in my other videos, I always double up everything. It just makes it a lot easier. So anyway, the next step would be that I do. Some people do this, some people don't do it. I think a lot of it is preference. Is I put on my dome as such, and what that helps to do is it helps to helps to conserve the moisture inside of here. What I'll probably do is I'll maybe put up a short clip later on, and I'll show you actually how much condensation, how much moisture these domes actually help hold in, because this whole thing will be fogged up. You don't have to have, if you don't have a dome lid like this, you could put like saran wrap or plastic wrap over it. You know, using the stick method would be a little bit tougher, but you can still have a bit of a dome effect. If you don't have the sticks or anything sticking up, you could put the plastic wrap right on it. The only downside with that is that as soon as the plants come up, you got to take it off. So I mean, if you're away for the whole day and they come up at 8 o'clock in the morning and you don't get back in until 8 o'clock at night, they could really, you know, start to stunt their growth, as well as it just generally won't be good for the plant. From my experience, I've done it both ways, and I've found that using the dome here is the best option. So basically what I'll do is I'll take the dome now, or the flat, and I'll put it here on my heat mat. This is just a regular heat accelerator propagator's mat. I think I got this one actually from Vessie's. A lot of times you can even buy these from Amazon, or even your local home store. I think this one was maybe $20 or so. You can get ones that are double, like that are, this one is actually 11 by 22 maybe, or something like that. I'm not exactly sure the size. But you can buy ones that are double this size. You can buy ones that are double long ways. You can buy ones that are a whole length of a heat mat that have, you know, thermometers on them or thermostats on them. You can actually set them. This one doesn't work that way. You plug it in, it keeps, once it heats up to a certain temperature, it keeps that temperature. I've used it for 2 years now. This will be my 3rd year, and I've had great success. Again, if you don't have a heat mat, you don't have to use it. I just find that it really helps increase the germination rate. And even the germination percentage, as far as what germinates. I find it definitely helps better, because if you think about it, out in, you know, when you plant things in the garden in June or July, depending on your climate, the soil is warm and plants germinate. If you try to plant something in a cool soil, it takes a lot longer to germinate and possibly even rot. But anyway, so I'm going to be putting it on the heat mat. I won't show you how I do that, and I'm going to have the lights right on them. Now, again, this is also not controversial, but some people will say, don't put the light on them right away. Seeds don't need light to germinate, which is true. Most seeds, vegetable seeds, don't need light to germinate. But the way I do it is I'll have my timer set up, and I'm going to be giving them 16 hours worth of sun, or 16 hours worth of daylight. I have a mixture of, I have grow bulbs, I have cool bulbs, and I have warm bulbs, which all give out different spectrums. As you can see, this one is more of a white. That one back there is more of a pink. I'm not sure if it can pick up on that. And I find having different spectrums work better than just having your normal fluorescent cool bulbs or warm bulbs. The grow bulbs actually have a full spectrum, or mostly full spectrum, as far as like the colors of light. But they can be quite pricey, especially if you're, you know, my setup here, just on this side, I have 8 bulbs, and if a bulb costs $10 a piece, let's say, that's $80. And that's way too expensive for me, when you can buy these bulbs, the regular ones, for probably $2 or $3 a piece. So, you know, we're looking at $20 or $30 versus $80 or even more. And I can go over my lighting if anybody's interested in my lighting. I know I made a video last year, I think, about my lighting system, or how I have it set up. But if anybody's interested in that, I'd be more than happy to do another one and kind of go over the types of bulbs, the sizes, the wattage, the whole deal. But, you know, guys, let me know. Anyway, I'm going to be moving this onto my heat mat, which it'll stay there until probably 75% germination. There are quite a few seeds here that I've never used before, so I'm not sure what their speed of germination are, but, you know, you won't just get one variety that come up and then 3 days later the rest come up. It doesn't really work that way from my experience. Peppers are somewhat more slower germinating than tomatoes. I've had tomatoes come up in 2 days, in 48 hours. Peppers sometimes take a bit longer than that. But I'll be bringing you back once they start germinating. But anyway, I got the light on them. Just picture the flat here. It's hard to move it with one hand. I have the light right on top of it. I mean, it's bare. It's almost just touching the plastic dome. And the good thing with fluorescent bulbs is they don't get hot. They can get a little bit warm if they're on, but they don't get hot. They won't melt plastic. You don't have to mess with that. But anyway, I got my lights right on them. I'm going to be giving them 16 hours worth of daylight, of sunlight, even though they're not even germinated yet. But the reason why I do that, getting back to that, is because if they germinate overnight, say they germinate and one comes up at 3 a.m. in the morning, and I'm not able to get down here the whole day, say I'm busy, whatever, until the following day. So say it's been, 48 hours or 30 hours or what have you from it germinating. If there is no light source down here other than a little window which gives off basically zero light, they're going to start to stretch immediately. It's amazing how fast plants stretch once they come up because they're searching for sunlight. So my fail-safe is I put the light on them right away. Like, these are obviously higher because I was working here, but these, I keep them on right away. So that means as soon as they germinate, they're going to get blast, full spectrum color light. And to me, I never have leggy tomatoes, peppers, egg. I never have leggy plants down here because I do it that way. Other people have success doing it another way. If you don't have grow lights, you can put them in like a south-facing window. But for my money, is if you have the space to kind of even go buy a shop light. This is actually a bought one for, I think I bought it for maybe $17 plus the bulbs, to say it's $30, and you get a couple couple chains to hook it up or what have you, and you get yourself some supplemental lighting. That's just my preference, what's worked for me. Again, other people have different things that work for them. But in any case, I'm rambling on here, but basically, that's how I do my peppers. And stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching.